Welcome to the 9th edition of Lift and Load 2025, and here behind me we've got over 240 loader cranes present on this venue, and let's explore some of them. Okay, so let's kick off a Lift and Load with something familiar. Last year in this very location was performing a wreckage of the bus recovery on the Volvo Swedish chassis, paired up with the Turkish manufacturer of the cranes, Erkin, featuring ER122 000 L3 with the 4 extensions and 2 winches as the recovery fashion requires. Next to it, we've got also Swedish chassis Volvo with this time a German brand that it's not so common in the loader crane industry, but is standing very strong. MKG 531 paired up with the Falcon body, tiltable deck for allowing the access and egress of the smaller vehicles, such as that Volkswagen Beetle from the probably 60s or 70s. A few vehicles further down, we've got a fleet of 3 Van Grinsven vehicles, Volvo, Scania and the iconic Volvo with the Palfinger 150 beefy crane. And don't forget, we've got to be pretty speedy and quick, because we've got 250 vehicles to cover, so we're gonna get a wiggle on. Right, let's take a look at this iconic build, Volvo FH16 version 2 5-axle. It's probably built in 2012, 11, not sure, we'll have to ask the owner. But let's take a look at the front leg system. Look how the wide spread is of the 2 front legs. They're put to the extreme corners as far as they can be, to allow obviously the lights from still doing its job. And also you've got outrigger pads placed, so you don't have to walk around with it. You can just put them like on the Tillis build in Sweden, if you remember. They were able to slide it on top, so you got it right where you need it. This one positioned slightly differently. Coming back to the width, the reason, if you could see on some other vehicles, they've got 2, like I think it was a pellet truck in Sweden. I've noticed his spread on the outriggers were pretty narrower, not sure why it is, but in my opinion, the widest the spread, the better it performs on the extreme corners when it is lifting like 45 degrees in that direction and that direction. We have to give credit when it's due. Look at this 5-axle, probably 15-year-old chassis mounted with the Palfinger 150, an iconic beefy crane, and it's only a few scratches and dents. Hats off for the operator, because it's a hard work to keep it both a workhorse that is also good for show. We've just come across a really interesting solution. It's probably not new in Holland, but if it's usable and working in one country, maybe it will work in another as well, because the functionalities and lifting language, it's all the same universally. Take a look at this. It's not an extra storage box. It could be with ladders and stuff, but it's a proper full width extension to turn this Arctic mode, because you can see you've got a 5th wheel which is removable. By pulling that pin, you can remove the 5th wheel, and that becomes a rigid vehicle. And you've got extension to the back, place it onto the mountings, lock it with heavy duty pins, and then the articulated vehicle becomes a fully versed rigid vehicle. How cool is that? As we were walking through the aisle and a row of beautiful lined up cranes, we've come across a Night Rider. On the face value, you can see beautiful Volvo. It's not the newest shape. This Volvo is from 2017. You look at this foot and you think, oh, it's got a fascie, because it's got fascie leg. You go around, yeah, it must be a fascie, because you see another foot, which also derives from fascie. But when you look closer, the leg doesn't look a fascie leg. It's a Hiab, and it's not a new one. It's a Hiab XS 600 High Pro. It's the version before the 658s and 638s. The crane age is from 2012, so it's 5 years older than the chassis. The reason for that is because you want to have a little bit more freedom when it comes to operating the crane without the computer telling you what you can and what you can't do. Coming back to the Volvo chassis, which is, no, it's not 8x2, it's a 6x2. So it's a 6x2 Volvo with a 5-year older 2012 Hiab 600 High Pro. It's very common in the Netherlands, removable 5th wheel. All you do is basically undo these 2 bolts, slide this back, take 4 chains on, slide it up, take it off, put it aside, and this vehicle becomes a rigid, especially with the extension piece that you can extend it by 1.8 meters by placing it on these 2 hooks and locking it with 2 pins. And you've got perfect rigid vehicles for any tight confined spaces. This is really cool. I think that should be a universal standard. We've come across a pretty nostalgic crane for me, because I've operated this particular model, which is FR1405, with a cross-tab leg system for over 7 years. Why I found it interesting and pretty useful for particular lifting scenarios. For example, you can increase the footprint of the loading area, which is a benefit for shifting a heavy load, because you move the tiltable leg away from under the crane, and that gives you a greater space for shifting generators, engines, or oversized containers. And this particular model, FR1405 with the cross-tab leg mode, inspired me to share with the world the passion for the loader cranes and why the industry matters. Because as far as I was involved in the operation, it was only myself and the site manager that knew what it took and what involves to be in a challenging situation to complete the lifting task. Hence, I started Craneformers, because I believed that people should know about the industry that stands strong on its feet. Further down the line, we've come across a familiar vehicle for you, because one of the people that saw it. The exit of this vehicle generated 1.3 million views on the last edition of Lift and Load. Here it is, Volvo FM 5-axle with a Fassi 2150, a monstrous beast. This truck behind me is all about organization and surgical precision for storing all the necessary equipment that it needs for this job. For example, here you've got a compartment for all the auxiliary equipment for his winch. Now this is the cathead for the winch. On the main jib, this is the part for the hook. Let's move closer onto the more storage area. Look at this. It's a crane surgical precision for storing and keeping all the shackles, lifting bolts intact, organized and easily accessible. So the accessibility to get onto the, for example, if you're short, you're struggling to reach over there, you've got accessible means of climbing with the platform, and same here. You can push it and it's in. And underneath you've got axle boxes split vertically. You've got access for your chains. Here you've got something else, like your slings, for example, or joker hooks. Nice color as well. Below that you've got the storage compartment for one of the pads. And it's not just a practical use. Look at the shape. It blends in with the rest of the mudguard and the shield for the rear leg. How beautiful it is. Next we've got extendable part of the demount body. I guess it is hydraulic, because given the weight you probably struggle to pull it, so it's somehow operated hydraulically. Let's moving on to the other side of the vehicle, the driver's side in Europe. You've got the same sort of compartment, but it's split horizontally rather than vertically. And let's have a look what's inside. That's a nice drawer. More slings, round slings, 3-ton and all other sorts. And now moving further to the front of the vehicle and looking up, you've got a sliding compartment for storing and manual extensions for the fly jib. You've got a diesel tank behind this stainless steel shield, nicely blended with the rest of the bodywork. Company of which every of their build becomes an icon. Just here behind me we've got not one, not two, but at least 5 of their excellent builds. Kluytmans, the bodybuilder from the Netherlands, now showing their craftsmanship again. So let's explore some of this craftsmanship here behind me. We've got a very first build for Van Rattingen, which is specializing in heavy lifts and mobile cranes. And it happens that this Fassi F1750 Techno range is their very first build of the loader crane. Let's find out what's so special about it. if you notice here, nothing unusual for the eye. Pay attention to the details they put into doing. You've got a doors, obviously with the compartment, and then here you've got, guess what? A battery with this panel attached to the door, to the sliding drawer. So what is also special about Kluytmans builds, they don't leave any gaps unused. Everything has continuous design, utilizing every single centimeter or even millimeter on the build. Starting from the first axle, nicely covered AdBlue tank, so they don't leave anything ugly plastic things. Nicely lined up and color-coded mud guards. Obviously the diesel tank rather small because the company is specializing in lifts more than driving, so they don't really need a bigger tank. Here we've got, you could probably just put ladders, some sort of like a measuring device for load heights and stuff, and anything of longer nature. What else we've got on this build? We've got lashing rings popping out. You've got opening for the ratchet hooks. You've got, for example, you're carrying some sort of a wide load. You can put the goal post in it. You've got an axle box for the chains. Look at the shield as well. So it's all blended in to make it look part of the design. As you know, this is the natural fashion for each crane operator to have the lifting chains accessible right at hand. So when you open the crane, you open the box and the chains come out easily. What is the signature of this box? You don't want any rough edges for any potential of catching when you pull out the chains and the top of the hook catches it, resulting in potential damage of the box. And here everything is nice and rounded, no danger of catching it. Since this crane is still awaiting the load test, we still haven't got the duty chart of the crane. So we had to resort ourselves to the website of the FASI. And the FASI claims that this F1750 Techno with the 8 extensions lifts 30 tons at 4 meters, which is the close range, with 8 sticks on the main arm, main boom. It lifts nearly 5.4 tons at 19.3 meters. And when equipped with fly jib without the manual extension, it lifts 1.6 tons at 31.3 meters. And hopefully we'll find out about the true performance pretty soon. Do you remember the star of the earlier on this year? This is the Jos's truck, which finally got completed with the last piece of a puzzle. Meet his spreader beam, which is accessible from both sides by sliding the compartment on this side and on the other side with a crane. Remember last year, Van Hooft presented us with a demonstration of lifting the 7-ton power pack with the Erkin 225. This year, Rick is gonna show us Cormac 150-ton meter crane doing a test lift of 20 tons. Let's find out how it performs and if it stands on 4 feet. All right, let's get to it and see how Cormac 150 performs 20-ton lift. Can you push it a bit further?
Yeah, we do it.
Let's see how far it goes. It's showing 70% at the minute. That's a good going, that. Nearly 20.1 tons.
Yeah.
Does it tell you the distance from the slew ring?
No.
You have to just count it, yeah?
Yeah,
so
count it, yes.
There's about, let's say, about just over 5 meters, yeah, radius. That's about right, yeah?
In one angle. We can make a little turn. I try. Do it upside my truck.
Put 20 tons on the back of you.
Yes.
And drive with it legally, yeah? Because
and drive it with legally, yes.
Because the truck in Holland with this configuration can carry how much? 49, 50 tons?
Yeah, but we have permission to load about 60 tons.
60 tons, all right.
60 tons, yeah. I'm empty now for 36 tons and I can load about 60 tons.
That much, yeah?
Yes. And first I must both angles out, yeah, and I have said they must change it. Yeah. Because I cannot work like this, because we have small locations and everything.
Yeah, so that's why you need extra space on the
Italian guy put his laptop on it and okay, we can test it.
Yeah.
And they find out this still stable and give me this is the only Cormac 150 ton with this table.
with a subframe.
Yeah, but they also put more pressure in the cylinders. So I have the only 150-ton meter Cormach with this table.
Okay.
Other ones are not much like this.
And you also said the front, you would be able to push this sort of weight over the front. Do you use winch a lot?
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, when I lift only the transformator out of the station, we do a lot with the winch.
You want to keep it straight, yeah?
Keep it straight, yeah. And the yip, I've also a yip.
You've got fly jib, yeah?
Yeah.
But you don't use it much, no?
Not much, no.
Yeah, because I saw your work. Most of the times you deal with really heavy, close lifts, yeah.
Close lifts.
So you've just experienced the 20-ton lift, which Rick would be able to actually slew all the way around. Obviously not today because we've got the barriers set up in front of the wagon. But the front leg stabilizers, they're designed for 22 tons of force pushing through the legs. And as you saw, he pushed the 20 tons test lift about 5-6 meters away from the slew ring, and none of the legs lifted up from the ground. That's a good stability. That was Cormach 150 in action here at Lift and Load. Here is a bit of the striking story. Pol Transport has been established for around 25 years, obviously doing transport and lifting services. But they've had an idea to start up on their own, providing construction services for building the loader cranes. And this is the very first example with the use of Kluytmans. They've constructed and come up with their own loader crane built by themselves, apart from the subframe and the crane. Obviously, crane comes from Fassi, and the subframe was built by Kluytmans. And everything else, all the boxes, the bodywork, fifth wheel, all the fixtures, everything was made by PolKTS. Here is the news. The story is that these two cranes, they just came out from the bakery. They're still hot, still fresh like bread roll, but they're already sold. So let's find out by following us who will be the lucky two to receive this Fassi F905 Techno and 1250 in the next 6 to 12 months probably. Let's take a look at this Super Scania V8 belonging to the VDL Lifting and Transport, featuring top of the range HMF crane 9520, built by Van Rysel, probably the biggest bodybuilder of HMF cranes in Europe. And as you can see on this build behind me, spreader beams have become a standard fixture and accessory present on every loader crane in the Netherlands. So far we've had 250 loader cranes present on the Lift and Load this year, and also we've got some Jekkos just being taken away on the ramp. This particular one is
That's 545, yes.
the biggest one, the biggest one out of here.
Out of here, yes.
And together with the Ingmar,
Yes.
he's taking them away. How many are you going to fit on this trailer?
Today we're gonna fit only one. This one's gonna go back to Germany.
Oh, it's going back to Germany?
Yes, definitely. Because the 545 that we have in Holland.
I had the chance, not on the spider crane, but I had the chance to work on the loader crane, on the truck. Yeah,
so great, yeah.
Pretty solid crane, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It will do the job.
It will, yeah.
This is the big one, eh? Yeah.
This is a big baby, yeah.
We have the GF 990. That's also
990.
Yes, the biggest one in the circuit of the Jekko cranes.
Is Jekko will Jekko follow the suit and basically introduce the techno range into the
maybe we hope so, yeah.
That might be the next move.
Next move, definitely. Now this is the 32 meter compact crane, and we have the JF 990. This is 46, 4 and a 6.
46, yeah, that sounds about realistic, yeah. So this is the smaller sister or smaller brother of the 545?
Yes, this is the smaller brother of the 545. It's 25 meter crane, 6-ton crane. Jekko built the mainframe and the tracks and that kind of stuff. And the Fassi operated after they bring the crane on the tracks of Jekko. So it's a really nice collaboration of the two companies together to make a small compact crane with a lot of lifting capacity. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Yeah. Let's move to the middle one, which is the oldest out of the range. SPX 424.
424, yes. It's the old one. Yeah, you
I
have
can
to,
see.
You have to like the old stuff to like the new stuff.
All tried and tested.
Yeah, this is the crane of the 4 brothers, called in Holland, 4 broers. They're looking to buy maybe a 3.25. But this is the old crane, compact crane, one of the first in the range of the Jekko SPX series. So
One of the first ones?
Yeah, one of the first ones, yeah, definitely, yeah. Also a nice crane. Next to it we have the Jekko, the 6 from 650.
650, oh, it's a big...
Yeah, big crane, 5-ton crane.
Bigger than this? No, smaller than this.
Smaller than this, yeah. This is the XPX series and this is the JF series. The JF is with the Fasi and the XPX is with a long main boom and a big yip on it for glass fitting, steel fabrication, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What I like about Jekkos, I've not operated any of them, but I've read about.
Yes.
They've got this features called like virtual walls. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can set that would be another episode. We have to just try it and see it like in the real scenario, like put it like against the walls and against the ceiling.
If you're working in a factory, something like that, or on a railroad, something like that, they can't come near to electric lines, that kind of stuff. You're putting the virtual walls, and they will collaborate with you. So it's
I'll be interested to see it in action. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah.
That's the agreement. We're gonna have to set up and put it into the pace.
Definitely.
Through its paces, I mean, in the factory.
With some good weather. Maybe that's beer.
Indoors doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that's beer afterwards. Yeah. And indoors it doesn't matter the weather. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that was a brief introduction to Jekko, and one and only.
Ingmar Ridderhoff, compact aanvuur.
That's
yes, definitely like a follow. Thank you.
Bro, that was a great self-promotion.
Definitely, a nice shot.
As we come to a close of the 9th edition of Lift and Load, experiencing the guys helping to wrap up and bring the Versteijnen Trucks premises back to its original state, we here came across this beautifully looking, the original Scania Saab 143M 450 V8. Look at the condition, restored by Versteijnen Trucks. This kind of truck brings back memories and kind of a nostalgia for me, because back in the 90s, early 90s, yes, I am that old, I've experienced these exact models trucks pulling the coal from the docks imported from Russia to coal-powered power station. And now you can see it's in full pristine condition, black as a coal. Right, we've got a little excursion up in the sky. The planned altitude is 48 meters. Let's see how far we're gonna get. It's getting colder up here.
Yeah.
Well, the trucks are getting smaller and the people with it. I think Versteijnen will gonna need that land for the next editions of Lift and Load, because like in this fashion, like first edition on this premises was like 70 trucks. Then it went like 100 something, 110 I think. Then he said it was 180, and this year is 250.
Yeah.
So next year will be 500. I think they've said they've had 800 people willing to buy the tickets.
I went. I was forgotten the first time. Now I went for the second time to 25 tickets. I got lucky.
Hello. It's getting cold in autumn. 48 meters up. Good job it's not raining. There was a thunderstorm probably half an hour ago. Luckily it all passed away that way. It's a shame because it scared all the people and most of the trucks, they've just left for home. As you can see, the venue's nearly empty. There's still some brave hearts. Yeah, the last time I was on the basket, it was with Sven from Alder Transport in Switzerland. So shout out to Sven. He probably will be watching this video. So what is the model of this crane? This is the class
1003.
1003.
Yes.
It can reach 48 meters high, and how much weight you can put?
The 52 meters is 500, and with 48 meters 1000. And it is a max 1000 with the main boom and yip out. And it's some sections you can put 1300 and I think 2 tons and 3 tons.
All right.
So you get an option. If you get the option, you can go for 6. I believe for 5 or 6 tons.
So the next one, the class 2500, 2500, will give you a ton, yeah, at the full range.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's twice as
Now,
much.
Not like this. It's not a ton.
Yeah. We've landed safely. Thank you, Edwin.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for the ride. We've just been at 48 meters high, thanks to Edwin from Verschoor. We've just had a little excursion to see the views around on the alu crane, the class 1003. I keep forgetting the models because there's so many of them. And this year's Lift and Load edition 9th has come to an end, and make sure to visit next edition of Lift and Load, the round 10th anniversary. See you in 2026.